2.
That's
my
baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, fam, what is up? We are back for another episode of our Athlete Spotlight. Got another special one tonight for you. And obviously, new to this platform, me and Leah go way back, prior to the tough days here. I think it was it was in my memories a few weeks ago. I think it was it's been almost 4 years since the last time I had you on one of my platforms. So definitely looking forward to catching back up with you, reintroducing you to the A2D fan base over here. But before we get going, this show is brought to you by Sunrise Detox in the counseling centers. Many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We're happy to support anybody who are going through any issues. Please make sure you reach out to the counseling center and the Sunrise Detox. If you need any help, please call 856-651-8117 and let them know the guys over here at A2D sent you. And without any further ado, Leah, how are we doing this evening? I know you had training. You got a lot of stuff going on. How you feeling tonight?
To be honest, I'm exhausted. I had a very rough training day today.
I feel you. I got a bum wing over here, so I know how it goes. I tore my bicep last December. Finally getting this situated now, so I got 3 months before I'm able to use this thing again. So. And then I'm running my kids around to the gym over here, and then having to do everything else. So, but your training's a little bit different than ours. So I definitely feel for you. And for people who don't know, she doubles up. She's also a part of a branch of our armed services too. If memory serves me correct.
Yep, I'm in the Air Force. Well, Wisconsin Air National Guard. So yep.
Wisconsin Air National Guard. That's awesome. What are you doing over there too?
I actually just cross-trained. I am going to be a welder, actually. So I'll be welding and machining aircraft parts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody messes things up in the hangar. She's the one they got to call to fix for the idiot who didn't know what he was doing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, that's cool. Not everyone gets to kind of be a part of the military without not being directly in the harm of danger's way on a consistent basis. And on the other side of it, you have the other side of your dream, the other side with combat sports, and obviously again, I guess like I said, new to people here, kind of give the people a little bit of a background. What's happened over the last 3 years? Obviously, you were on The Ultimate Fighter. Everyone was hyped. I was one of these guys. Hey, she's already got a contract before all these other girls, and here we go. So, things don't work out on the show. You get the win on the finale, and I guess kind of from there, just let people know what transpired. Both with your career and both with your health.
So. After I won my UFC debut on the Ultimate Fighter finale, that was kind of like my body's breaking point. I knew something was wrong. I started feeling really sick all the time, extremely tired all the time. I could barely get through a training session, and I felt like I needed to come home and take a nap right away. And that was not like me because I was used to, at that point, I was severely overtraining. So I was used to training 5, 6, sometimes even 7 times a day. And for me to have to take a nap after one training session, I was like, well, something is clearly wrong here. And so I discovered, I went through many doctors and they couldn't all figure out what was wrong with me. They knew my thyroid was messed up, but they couldn't figure out all the other things that were going on with me. So I found a specialist out of Pennsylvania, actually. So we do video chat appointments, and he did a bunch of different testing on me, and basically my whole system was messed up, from my hormones my mitochondria, like down at the cellular level, was all messed up. My gut biome was messed up. Literally everything that could go wrong in your body pretty much went wrong in my body. And my body was on the verge of like organ failure. That's how bad it was. So, and that's directly caused from overtraining and under eating for weight cuts and all that for so many years in a row. I used to be told I wasn't working hard enough all the time, so I would always work harder. And so like, and I'm a perfectionist,
so
right?
Your body was sitting there trying to tell you to slow it down for other reasons, and everyone else is like you're just not putting the work in.
Exactly. So like it got to be too much for my body, and it literally just decided to shut down. And so it took me a while. It took me about 6 months to find the specialist, and then we had to run a bunch of different tests, and we had to do a bunch of different treatments. And so I've been working with him for about 2.5 years just to get healthy enough to finally be able to accept a fight again. And I'm so excited. You guys have no idea how much it means to me, because I, for a long time, thought,
people don't.
I had broken
we can try to sit there and guess, like, maybe like, oh, I understand. No, we don't. I'm sure you're probably gonna hear like, oh, no, like even like when we try to look at it in retrospect, like all the time that she spent training, like people telling her you were just sitting there saying someone was just telling you you weren't working hard enough, and just everything, having to miss fights, watching. Not just that, just watching the sport grow and change over the last few years. It's just like, I'm sure at this point, you're going to be absolutely chomping at the bit. And that's going to lead me into my poll question. It's something we hear a lot of things with long extended layoffs is the infamous ring rust myth. So I want to get your thoughts. We'll see what everyone's gonna say on the back end, but I think Leah, you will be one of the next fighters to just prove that ring rust is just a myth. After almost, I think you're gonna be like a couple weeks short of a 3-month absence from active competition, and I think regardless win, lose or draw, I don't think ring rust or anything of that nature will be an issue for your fight coming up. Obviously you're always one who's been a gym rat. You've been in there. You've been working hard. I just think the 3 years of knowledge and not being beat up, I just think plays in your favor so much. And you're just been able to sit there and been able to hone on things. You may not have been able to train and put in a full fight camp of things of that nature, but I'm sure you've been around the gym. You've been in the gym, and you've been, the fighter that people seen 3 years ago isn't the fighter that we're going to see come November 13th, right?
Right. So a lot of things have changed. I mean, I even changed gyms and training camps. So I'm definitely going to be a completely different fighter than the last time I fought. I'm going to be mentally so much stronger because trust me, if you've been through what I've been through in the last 3 years, like you can't help but sharpen your mental skills, because it took a lot for me to get out of the depression I was in from not knowing whether or not if I was going to be able to fight again. And this is my dream. This is my passion. And not knowing whether or not I was going to be able to pursue my dream was heartbreaking to me. And just being able to overcome all of that and also not give up and quit. Like I continued to listen to my doctor and do everything I could. I had to take training breaks, but I was right back in the gym as soon as I was cleared to do so by my doctor. And I've been working hard as I possibly can, both in the gym and outside the gym, both with taking my supplements every day, making sure I'm getting the right nutrition, making sure I've got the right people in my corner. So I am a completely different fighter than I was 3 years ago. And honestly, I think that this break is probably what I needed. I mean, obviously my body needed it, but I think my brain needed it too, just to realize how much I really do want this. A lot of people, they think they want this and they don't even have time to sit there and question everything that they've put into the sport, right? But I had to sit there and on the sidelines and basically talk myself into how bad I wanted this, and like not really talk myself how bad I wanted it. Sorry, that was a bad way to put it. But like ask myself how bad I wanted this and did I want to quit? And there was never ever
It's like one of those things in like when you see in the movie when the athlete has the gut check moment. Like, is this really who you are? Is this really who you want to be? Do you want to, the Dana White phrase? Do you really want to be an ultimate fighter?
Yeah, exactly. And I got the opportunity to do that, and I believe everything happens for a reason. So I am super excited that I'm going to be back, and I think that the 3-year break is going to play in my favor because, like you said, I wasn't taking any damage during those 3 years. Other people were. I got to let my body recover.
That's just going to extend life on to the end of your career, where fighters are going to be maybe a little bit worn. Like it's, and not just that, like in things that you were just touching on there, the mental thing. People underestimate like the mental warfare of combat sports, not just inside the cage, not just with your opponent, but within yourself. When you beat that, when there's just gets to a point where like there's nothing somebody can do to into that cage to you that can mentally break you, no matter what position they put you in. It's like all right, whatever. I've already been through the trials and tribulations of what life's already thrown at me. What's a couple punches? What's a couple elbows? And even sort of like will come losses, will come setbacks, but still at the end of the day, like I said, you were already one of these people who was one of the big prospects going into the Ultimate Fighter. Obviously, like I said, so much has changed since then. We've seen Misha Tate come and go. We've seen Amanda Nunes. Literally, you can't. There's nothing you can say the woman can't do at this point in time. We've seen fighters come and go. We've seen stars go from one promotion to another. We've seen YouTube stars now become fight promoters. I asked Houston Alexander this. I got to ask you this one. How I know, the Jake Paul thing's kind of out of it, but the fact that he got himself attached to Amanda Serrano and now promoting her to make that Kate Taylor fight, I think is kind of a really risky move. But if it makes that fight happen, more power to both of them, right?
I mean, yeah, I have to agree with that. I guess I don't understand all this hype around the Jake Paul person. I didn't even know who he was, to be honest. I don't follow a lot of YouTubers, I guess.
Well, I don't think a lot of us follow YouTubers. It just is one of those things where it's listen, we can hate about how his journey got to him where he's at, but you can't hate to some of the things that he's doing at this point in time.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I definitely I'm one of these old school guys. I'm come from when I follow this sport, it's kind of old school MMA. So I get you guys have to go through a process and a path to kind of get to certain things. And yeah, but I think the way not just combat sports have changed because it's also just as much entertainment as it is about skill and what happens in the ring cage, however you have it, but. It's just one of these things. I mean, you have Jake Paul. He's done what he's done. He's helping some of these guys who maybe falling out of grace with the upper ends in some of these other promotions, and they're getting paid. I can't blame them for that. But the other side of it is you see what happens with the Triller fight where you're being lied to, basically telling you these are fights, and then in the end, on the back end, you wind up finding that everything's an exhibition. Listen, we're not children at the end of the day. You want to just entertain us, let us know you just want to entertain us. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think we've grown so much as combat sports as a whole. We have to understand Dana White even has entertained circus sideshows in the past. So we all know there's entertainment value that comes into whatever level we're talking in. It's just what it is. It's something that, we've come to accept, I guess, over the last 5 to 10 years. We've seen, I guess, the rise and fall of Conor McGregor too in some aspects.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely, I don't know.
Listen, my son's named Connor. It's spelled the same exact way. He was born before Conor McGregor broke out, and I've been having to hear it for the latest. I've been trying to let him know. I'm you do realize his head got bigger than his skill set, and he stopped trying to improve himself.
Yeah, I mean, at some point he lost the passion for the sport, and just all he cared about was the fame and the money and the attention. And once you get so much money, some people, not everyone, but some people.
Some people can handle it. Some people know what to do with themselves.
Yes,
and some people are grounded enough to be able to do it. And we've seen it not just in combat sports, but just in life, how the limelight can utterly destroy people, make them become people who either they swear they weren't going to be, or just someone who they never intended to.
Yeah. And I mean,
even Rhonda, at the end when people just were rubbed off by the brash attitude that they were once in love with, like, that's what we love about her. Just after a while, the acting kind of played out. Yeah, and I think that's where Conor is. He hasn't gotten to that point, regardless of the losses and now the broken leg, to be humbled enough to kind of tear yourself back down to be rebuilt up. The way he's acting, I still don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, people love that attitude, that bad attitude, when they're
love the bad guy when it comes to
when they're
boxing,
winning,
to MMA, whatever. We all love the bad guy
when they're winning. But then as soon as they lose, then you are like the most hated person ever, because you have to, if you're going to talk like that, you have to be able to back it up, right? And so that's why I just don't ever talk trash about anybody, because I believe in karma, and that's just not who I am as a person.
I'll talk it if you give me a reason to. If you bring it out of me, you'll get some words back. And trust me, I don't got a platinum tongue, but guess what? It got some words that come out of them, and sometimes they're gonna hurt. But at the end of the day, you guys are also in the unique position where you guys, get put on fight contracts, and you get to actually punch the people at the end of the day. And speaking of which, you got a really good prospect going in there. She former Invicta FC champion, and now's come over here to the UFC. I think a really good stern matchup. What do you like in this fight? And if you're putting your cap on, like how do you see the fight playing out in your head?
Well, I love this matchup, first of all, because she's like super tough, right? They're not giving me an easy fight. And I love that. Like, I want the challenge, and I want to be able to prove myself, right? So if I want to be the best, I got to beat the best. And she's already fought the best. She's fought Cyborg, and she fought Nunes, and she went all the distance with them. So I mean, that is a challenge.
That's the middle ground to be tested on, right?
Exactly. And I definitely think that I have skills that I can beat her with, and I'm not going to reveal those on here because I can't reveal.
No, I'm just saying how you see it playing out. You don't have to give me too much. I mean, it comes across as I don't want to be the reason she stifles anything you do or anything.
No, and honestly, I don't even dislike her as a person. That's the cool thing about being on The Ultimate Fighter. Like, you get used to living with people that you're going to fight, and so like you get to see the human side of them, so you're able to like differentiate between like the sport and
the persona of the fighter and the person.
So like, I don't hate her, but like, I'm going to win this fight, like, but it's not no disrespect to her, it's my job. I got to win this fight, and I'm going to. But I think because she's so tough, and even Amanda Nunes didn't finish her, I think that it's going to go the distance, and it's going to be a tough 3-round decision, because I'm not going to count on knocking her out or submitting her or finishing her, because she's tough. Like I said, she's taken a lot of.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm not sitting there saying like I'm going to stop this girl in the second round. It's going to be that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like do you like all right? How about I say it this way? Which tool do you want to show off the most in this one moving forward? Which do you think you've improved on the most? Is it your grappling? Is it your striking? Obviously we've sharpened the mind a lot over the last 3 years. But what's the other thing we've sharpened a lot of?
I've sharpened everything a lot. See, this is hard for me to answer because I really pride myself on like being a really
overall game, right?
Yeah, being a well-rounded fighter and being comfortable wherever the fight goes. And even if I get put in a bad position, because I get put in bad positions all the time in practice, and I work on getting out of them. So honestly, I feel really comfortable wherever the fight goes. Obviously, the fight starts standing, and we're both. I mean, she has a traditional martial arts background too. I think she's got like some karate or taekwondo or something. I do too. So, I mean, I think it should be a good striking matchup, at least at first. I don't know where she wants to take the fight, but I'm comfortable wherever it goes.
She's like, I'm going to be mold wherever it goes. That's where I'm going to be. Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, Felicia is one of these girls. Felicia Spencer is one of these girls who definitely has the medal. Someone you want to be in there. And you've already mentioned the names. Chris and the GOAT right now. So, is that something you hope like you're able to still you don't miss out on to be able to kind of get one of those bigger names? Because as it is when you look around at that featherweight division, not all the big names are in your company or in your promotion. Some of the other better named bigger girls have started to kind of migrate in other places and pop in other places. Really interesting to see who and what Kayla Harrison develops into over the next 2 to 3 years too. Obviously, she has a great pedigree. We'll see how time does her. That doesn't always prove out well. But is that one of the things that you hope? Because she's flirted at the idea of retirement over the handful of years, especially being the fact that they have a child and she has a her and Nina they have a family and eventually you get to that point where if you don't feel that challenge is there anymore, you're going to walk away. Are you hoping she hangs around long enough for you to be able to test yourself in that waters?
I would freaking love that opportunity. Like, I would love that opportunity so much. I hope that I get the opportunity to fight her before she retires. Obviously, I have to earn it. And the first step, I'm not looking past Felicia right now. Like,
absolutely. I'm just in there, looking forward because, like you said, like I said, it's one of those things where, like, you don't make stars every day, especially in your weight class. It's one of the hardest things to do is when you look at anything above 35, it's really slim when you're looking at well-rounded top, elite women. It's really hard to get all you in the same place. Is one of the things, like, as much as the sport's grown a lot over the years, there's still some things that we want to work on. There's still some doors that need to be broken down to in some aspects. And I would like to see some depth in some of those divisions that you preside in. And, right now, Amanda's that name. Hopefully, you never know. We could be looking back in 2 years and you could be that name.
That would be awesome. That's my goal.
Listen, I don't think there could be more of a feel good story. You're already on the road to be one of the comeback stories of the year. You get a big win there at the end of November and start the initial process of that. Like I said, the fact that that you're in the military as well. That's nothing I got to ask you too. Being we haven't seen a fight night in like Miramar or anything like that in a while. The UFC's done a lot of things with the military services, but they haven't done the military fight night in quite some time, from my recollection. Wouldn't you like to see them bring the fights to the base at least one time that you could represent your colors there?
That would be really cool. That would be probably the greatest honor, is if they did go to like a military base somewhere and I got to fight there. That would be. I
mean, that was something like they did a lot in the early days, but like they do things in a different way now. Like, obviously, it's run by different people and etc. But Dana's still there, and I know it's something that he always loved to do and things of that nature. Being that you have somebody like you who is an active cert, like, I think you take advantage of that. Like, I think Brian Stan was able to kind of be able to take advantage of that, and it was a special moment for him. Hopefully, being that you're back now, being that hopefully COVID doesn't mess up too many things over the next year or so, and we can get going back to more of a normal basis trend, and we can get you on a base and a headline in a card or something to that effect.
That would be amazing. I would love to be like on a military base and able to fight. Man, that would be so cool. I never even really thought about that being an opportunity, but yeah, that would be really cool.
I mean, it's something they used to do. That's why I asked. Like, you don't really get those really opportunities, and that's why I said, like, not every fighter is kind of able to achieve every dream they want. Like this past week we seen Deanna Bennett was able to fight in her backyard. The Shark Tank over there. Her father passed away, wasn't able to do it with him, but it was one of the things that she wanted to accomplish. So some people have simple dreams like that. Other ones, obviously, world champions, etc., like that. But that's going to be a cool accomplishment. World titles aside, to be able to to fight there in one of your bases in your backyard there would be a cool experience.
That would be amazing. Yeah. And obviously, my main goal is to be champion. So
obviously. I mean, anyone who sits there and says that when you get to this point, when you're in one of the biggest mixed martial art promotions in the world, if you're sitting there saying you're not chasing a title, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself.
Or you're in the wrong spot. I don't know.
I mean, or you just your contract is nice enough where it doesn't matter that you don't need that, but typically you're a world champion when that typically happens.
Yeah.
I mean, and seeing that, like, let me get your thought. I don't know if you were a big fan. Carlos Condit retired. This past week. Were you ever a big fan of the Natural Born Killers fights?
I watched a few of his fights. I think he was a good fighter. I wasn't obviously a huge fan of his, but I know that his name. I watched his fights.
That's all right. Oh no, I was just asking because probably I think his biggest fight was probably the one he had with Diaz.
Yeah.
And, Diaz is coming back this week, and you get him and Lawler too. That should be an interesting matchup. I'm just getting your thoughts on some of these older guys getting back in there and still matching up, pulling back these I guess run backs that we really don't need. Is still these entertainment fights we get now, right?
I don't know. I just saw a video of Nick Diaz shadowboxing for the cameras, and he's looking a little old, man. I don't know how much he's got left in his tank,
And considering, his boxing is, he has a unique style boxing, and like we were talking about that, the punishment and that wear and tear. He's been a guy that wears it a lot over the years, so you never know. And Robbie hasn't even looked great over the last 2-3 years. It's always great to see these guys to bring excitement to the card. Sometimes when I see that, I tend to look around to see whoever else is on the card, because those are typically the fights that'll typically show out a little bit more. Like, we'll probably, as much as we love both of them, like you're saying, like I don't like seeing these guys age the way they do, and they're still trying to put them in that fashion. Obviously, we've seen what happened to Evander, etc., like that. You don't want to see it happen to these guys.
It feels like that, almost that nostalgia effect, people are excited to see their old school favorite fighter come back and stuff. But then when they do see him come back, it's not the same. It's like when they remake
shadow of who they were. There's a reason why you guys take time off, and sometimes time off at the wrong age and time in your career could be devastating.
Yeah, it all depends on the circumstance, to be honest.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe Nick is coming back better than ever, but I don't know, man.
He's well-rounded, so it's not like we can just judge, just because maybe his hands are getting a little bit slower, a little bit sloppier. Like, that dude still has cardio for days and has arguably one of the best ground games in that weight class. Regardless, we're talking about 170 or 185 pounds, but Father Time waits for no man or woman,
especially with the people now that are the older fighters, because back in the day, they took way more damage than we are now. People learned to train smarter too. It wasn't just all the damage they were taking in the cage, but people used to train and spar hard every day, and they took a lot of damage, unnecessary damage in training and stuff. So that generation of fighters is actually going to have a harder time as they get older versus our generation and even the next generation of fighters, because we're getting smarter at training every single day.
Yeah, it's one of the things I was just talking about in Houston. What guys and girls had to do back then is you had to go to one gym, and then you had to go to another gym, and then sometimes even a third gym to pick up all the pieces you did. You needed to be a complete martial artist, or sometimes you'd had to have a who's coaches in your corner just to kind of complete everything you needed. So. And it's one of I think the better things that's changed over the last 5 to 10 years is because how much the sport has grown, how much is the talent level has risen, is that you've also seen the increase in that inside the gyms, that you don't just see, this gym has, the best jiu-jitsu coach in 5 states, but you don't have a good striking coach that's worth a lick within 1,000 miles of you. That's not a good thing.
Right.
So like you see these things now where and not just that, like people are adapting other things because of stars you bring in. Like all right, you see Khabib's have made such an impact on it now. Combat Sambo is so much bigger now than it was before. Before Khabib, even no one even knew what Combat Sambo was at that point in time.
I didn't.
but when you go back and look at it, like that is really like the foundation, the glue that what puts a complete MMA fighter together.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because how it was told, it was like you just needed to put all these other pieces together, and that's how you did it. But now you're seeing from different athletes from different skill levels from that background and others, it's just like maybe it's not like, and you're just seeing this overall involvement. It's a wonderful thing. I'm looking forward to seeing your involvement. What happens on again November 13th? That's going to be Fight Night Vegas 45, I believe, right?
I don't know. I'd have to look at
yeah.
I just know what date I'm fighting.
Name, date, opponent is all I really need. Everything else is irrelevant. The smile on your face for this comeback probably has to say enough. I don't think you haven't stopped cracking the smile the whole time we've been on it. So I'm sure you're beyond chomping at the bit, ready to get in there, ready to show. Listen, whatever film you had on this woman, it doesn't matter anymore. She's a completely different person, and I'm sure everyone knows that. And there might be a little bit of a feeling out process on that one, or if she hesitates a little bit, are you gonna stick her with it?
Well, yeah, of course.
I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things I think where people don't understand, like, where you didn't really have a serious, like you didn't blow your knee out or your shoulder out or something like that kept you out. Like it was something of other things that of those lines. So she doesn't have film on you. From like whatever happened 3 years ago means absolutely nothing. They can have tape on you for whatever. It's redundant in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean.
On the other hand, you have dozens. You've been watching this girl's process. You have a literal a filmography at least the last 2 to 3 years. So it's I think you're in a unique situation to. I know you have respect for her, but I also say that because of that uniqueness, it also gives you an opportunity to have that surprise, to potentially wind up getting that stop. It's not something you're going to plan for or go in for, but I think despite the fact that she has this unique resume, I think it makes you just as dangerous, being that no one has even seen anything about you outside of what you put out in clips or training partners or etc.
Yeah. I mean, I plan to use that to my advantage.
I would too. I would tell everyone nothing. If I catch one of myself in a clip, I'm gonna listen. We're gonna have a conversation outside the gym afterwards. I would tell everyone, just listen. After this fight, you can do whatever you want, but until this, any videos, keep me out of it for right now.
Yep. Any training videos I put out there.
If I was one of your coaches, if I was in your corners, I would be doing the same thing. It's like nothing personal. We just don't want no one to get nothing on her. After whatever happens here is going to happen. But I'm excited. It's a great matchup. I'm completely with you with it. You know, she's one of these people that'll help get your name up that ladder a little bit faster. She has that notoriety. Hopefully you'll get one of those bigger names, you know, if and when you get this victory on November 13th. Leah, what I typically do here at the end is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you would like to thank, trainer partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites to let everyone know where to follow the comings and goings, what you're doing. Any sponsors that you may have, any charities you're working with, anything you work with outside of combat sports that you want to let the people know about. The time is yours. The platform is yours. You go right ahead, my friend.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank my coaches. They've been believing in me since I came to the new gym, and they've been extremely patient with all my health issues. And that would be Danny Wanderley, Ben Tomes, and Joe Nichols. And then my number one training partner is Gabriel Wanderley. He's been awesome. He's been working with me nonstop the past couple months, so I appreciate him so much. And then I got to give a shout out to the people that are making selling fan shirts. I have a link in my Facebook page and on my Instagram bio. So at Nidas MMA, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and then Facebook.com/Nidas MMA. You can follow my fan page. I'm always on social media, so please follow me. And then get your fan shirts because I am selling Nidas shirts right now. So.
Make sure you get that link out there when I post the highlights. I'll put that in there so to make sure everyone can get them t-shirts out there for you.
Okay.
People don't know how t-shirt sales and stuff, little stuff like that helps these athletes through some of these training camps, regardless if you're fighting for the UFC or if you're fighting for the local promotion in your hometown. Every t-shirt matters. Every little help. When and that's why I always give you guys this platform for the sponsors as well, because people don't understand. They go and check out that sponsor and use whatever code you guys, and that's how you guys make it through the stuff. People who really don't understand it, they'll never get it. But again, appreciate your time tonight, Leah. Best of skill come November 13th. Hopefully, we'll get you back on here again after a impressive victory.
Yep.
We'll see what the MMA gods have to say about what's going to happen in that fight. Other than that, Leah, again, appreciate the time and best of skill. We'll do it again here in the future.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's definitely a pleasure. You have a good one, and be safe. All right, everyone. That was another episode of our Athlete Spotlight. Another fun one in the books. Obviously, Moosey over here wants to let everyone know it was a good one, too. He's saying. All right, y'all. Got another fun one, man. We got some things going on here as well. Like I was sitting there saying with where is it? I'm gonna pull it up. Now that I got this up, so we got the A2D membership for the for YouTube. Make sure you're shooting over there. After you're already subscribed to A2D Radio, we have, there's a little join button there for our premium members. Now that premium membership is $9.99 a month. You can get amazing perks, including shout outs, members only shows, appearances, weekly picks from the boys over the Money Pop podcast. Join today. We're going to be doing also a few more giveaways. I'm going to be doing some any of the new subscribers. I'll be announcing sometime this weekend what we'll be doing, but we'll be keeping track of some of the new subscribers. We got some swag to look out for you guys with. I know Tommy's got some stuff going on. We'll spin the wheel for all the new subscribers that we have coming in. Keeping an eye on that, and we'll get you guys hooked up. Make sure you guys are keeping up with all the content. Appreciate Leah's time tonight. We had Houston on last night. I'll be back Saturday night. We got a full house. I got some fun stuff lined up for you guys for the weekly roundup. I'm pretty sure Tommy and the boys are still live talking Eagles Dallas. It's rivalry week. You guys know what's up. You know what's going to be coming. F Dallas. I'm out of here. We will see you guys